welcome everybody to another Wednesday Tech PD. Thank you for coming. Today we have some special guests with us. We have a few students that are going to be joining us to talk about projects they've worked on and projects they are currently working on to continue on. So we have Rachel Wilcox with us, Lauren Anderson, and Ashton Karen, I believe, is from home. There's Rachel right there. So the first project we're going to talk about is called historicnokomis.com, and I will throw this in the chat. And we talked about this last week. I will do a screen share here so you guys can chat as we're going along here. Here we go. So if you go to historicnokomis.com, this website has been a couple years in the making. Two of the students of the 4 or 5 that worked on it, Ashton and Rachel, are here with us. So first up, guys, you guys can unmute here and explain what I'm looking at. And how long did this project take you?
All right, so I guess I'll start here. So this was actually the first project that we started working on freshman year. Originally, it was actually Rachel's project, and as we realized how much work it was going to be, there was a handful of us that kind of joined onto it. And so basically what that starting website is right there is kind of just the link and the explaining as to what exactly it is. And so what that is we took 360-degree pictures of every single room in the old building, and we've put them all together. So we've basically made it so you can go through the building as if we were still there and still having classes there and everything. And it's been a super cool experience, just seeing not only how the school changed over those 4 years, but keeping up with technology. Rachel can definitely attest to, this is a project we've done a couple times.
So why don't you talk about that? See what Mr. Kelly did to you. Why'd you have to do it a couple times?
Rachel, you want to hit on that, why we had to do this so many times?
Yeah, so at first we were trying to figure out what program would work best with it, and we decided on CoSpaces, as you can see here. But we also finished the project at one point, and then we realized the pictures were kind of blurry. So Mr. Kelly decided to get a new camera, and we started over and retook pictures of all of the rooms over again. And
You're
then
welcome.
had to go from there.
So about how many pictures of this project would you roughly say that you had to take with this project?
I think there's roughly 100 pictures on the final project. And considering we had to redo some rooms 3 or 4 times, I'd say we probably took 350 pictures over the course of the project, including when we were trying to figure out how the camera works too. We probably have 50 just from random pictures throughout the hallways and stuff. But
oh, that reminds me, I meant to pull it up and I wish I had. I forgot. I have a couple pictures of you guys just holding the camera, like looking up, and maybe we'll put that in the blooper reel somewhere. It is worth, I mean, if nothing else, like this is a history, right? This is an artifact that this building is gone. It's just in our memory now. And so here's at least some record of what it was like. You can almost smell the hallways if you were there, if you remember being around here. Let's go up the hallway. I'm just clicking through just so people can kind of see. If any of you want to go to this, kind of check it out. If you go to historicnokomis.com, and if you scroll down, I just did some still pictures. If you have any still pictures from the old building, please let me know. I'd love to add them to the slideshow, just without people in them. So we just want pictures of like the building if we can. And if you scroll down here, you can click play and you can see this. You can also click here for full screen, which is what I'm doing right here. Any spot you're in, if you look straight down, if you click and hold straight down, you'll see this our crest. And if you click on that, it will bring you back to kind of the home page or the menu page. If I turn left here, you'll notice what's going on here. Ashton, why don't you explain what's going on here?
All right, so we wanted to make it so anybody who came to the VR, to the virtual school and wanted to go to a specific room or a specific wing, that they'd be able to do that. So you can hover over pretty much any wing, the gym, the cafeteria, math wing, and it'll bring you right there so that you don't have to walk through the whole school if that's something you didn't want to do, which makes it pretty cool. We've had a lot of teachers go, and that's the first thing they do is they go find their room right away. So that was just one of the things that we added in to make it more user-friendly and accessible.
Awesome. I also, this is news to Ashton. I did try the video. We weren't able to get it working, so I just have this for now until we get that video going. We also have our credits here. Now, we tried to do it outside, but it didn't work. So here are some of, there's Ashton here, Rachel. Ashley Nyman was also involved, taking pictures and so forth. And Ryan Bell was also involved as far as people that worked on taking pictures or doing programming or whatever it was. Cool. I do know we're starting that process right now with the new school. Ms. Netto asked, we do basically the same kind of thing. Right now, if people want to do virtual tours, that kind of thing, we'll be able to build that. So we're starting that process. Obviously, there's a lot of rooms in this building, and we don't necessarily have to do every one of them, but we'll work on that. Any other questions from the audience for either Ashton or Rachel as far as their alumni project went?
Does this have the capability for viewing in 3D? Virtual?
Thank you, Mr. Roach. Good question. It sure does. If you would like to, if you open up, let me go back here. So if you have your smartphone and if you hold it on historicnokomis.com and on that QR code, it will bring you to an app that you have to install. It's a free app. But once you install it, you can view it if you have a 3D viewer, which means that you can go like this and you can feel like you're there, right? You feel like you're actually back in the school. So yes, it absolutely does. And I think I mentioned this before, but if it's something you're interested in, we now have a class set of 30 of these ready to go. So if you have students that you want to sign up, let me know, email me, and we can roll right into your class. We have started scheduling it out, so it's not always available because some classes are signing up times. But it's something that you want to do, either a virtual tour of the school, or if you want to do something else, we have a lot of different virtual experiences that are already built into the device. So yes, we can certainly do that. And thank you for asking. Awesome. Any other questions for Ashton or Rachel about this? So I have a question for you, Ashton. What would you give for advice for the crew that's doing it now, starting this process for the new school?
I would say don't let Mr. Kelly give you a million other projects while you're doing it, because you will definitely put it on the back burner until senior year and realize there's a lot of work to do.
It's a lot of work. Yes, I was impressed when I went through all the different, again, like, you know, you might, the teachers might just go to their room and they were happy with that, whatever. But if you look through all the different possible pictures that were there was a lot of them. Both of you guys and all of you four of you guys did a really nice job. So thank you. Appreciate it. Golf claps all around. All right, we will see you guys. See you, Ashton, later. Rachel's going to stick around a little bit. Thanks, buddy. All right, moving on to our other project here. Let me close this here. So we've mentioned this a couple times. The Milty Conference is coming up next week, next Thursday. If you are interested in having your class sign up for it, you need to do so pretty soon. I think by next Monday, I think the latest. It's all virtual, so kids can join virtually and so forth. We have a number of students at the high school that are going to be presenting at this conference. We normally go, as you can see right here, this is one of our alumni right here on the page. That's Josh. Was presenting, and actually Rachel is standing right beside me, I believe, in this picture. If you remember a couple years ago, we're waiting for an interview with Channel 5 is what she was doing. She was very, very excited about that. So anyway, but this year we have, I think, 5 or 6 presentations that students are going to be doing, and we're trying to give them as much experience in the whole process of presenting through a camera, which is, it's hard. We all know this as teachers. We've been doing this all year. So not only presenting, but also the moderation and all the different ins and outs. So with that, for today, what I'd like to do is turn it over to Rachel and Lauren. They're going to take over and they're going to, basically run through their presentation. They're going to adapt it a little bit, so it's going to be more applicable to you as teachers, what you can do with it. But this is their presentation on using Google Slides for animation. So I'm going to stop presenting my screen. And there's Lauren. Okay, so I'm going to mute. So Lauren, why don't you take it away?
So, hello, my name is Lauren, and I'm the moderator for this session today. We are excited to welcome you to this presentation on animation with Google Slides. If you are able to split your screen to watch the video in one tab while following along in another, that will work best. But if that doesn't work for you, no problem. We'll give you plenty of time to finish each step along the way. Reminder, the session today will be recorded so you can watch it later. During the session, my job will be to make sure you get the necessary links, and if you have any questions during the session, I will be looking for them in the chat. With that, I will turn it over to our presenter, Rachel Wilcox.
Hi, everybody. So today I'm going to be going over the steps for how to animate with Google Slides. So I'm going to present my screen here. All right. And to start this off, you're going to go to slides.new just to open up a new Google Slides without having to go through all the apps. Once that loads, you're going to just click out of this themes box over here and then delete these that are on your screen over here. Once you've done that, you're going to go to your background and you're going to change your color to some sort of light blue. So I'm going to pick that one right there. Now that I have that, I'm going to, over here, add 5 slides that are the same. So to get that so that they're the same, I'm going to add some grass first. So to add the grass, you're going to go up here to where it says Insert, and then Image, and then you're going to search the web. I'm just going to search grass. And then I'm going to pick a picture that has mostly just grass. I don't want any kind of background like that or that one right there. So I'm going to go with this one right here. Select that and then hit Insert. So now that I have that, it's not quite fitting on my slide the way I want to. So I'm going to drag it out to both ends and make sure it's meeting at the bottom till that red line shows up there. And then I'm going to drag it down a little bit so it looks something like that. Now that I have that, I'm going to add a few slides in here. I'm going to go back up here, and I want to add some type of tree into my main slide here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to go to google.com. So doing this makes sure that everybody is seeing the same screen, and you can see over here it says Images. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to just type in tree. So that comes up with all of these different types of trees, but I don't want any kind of background because if I pick a tree like this, it's going to come with all of this stuff around it. So I'm going to go up here to Tools, and then over here, once you click Tools, it'll say Color. I'm going to click that and hit Transparent. So now that I have that, I want to pick a tree that's not a cartoon. Once you click on it, to make sure that it's transparent, you'll see these little checkered boxes behind it. So you want to make sure you have a tree that has that. And so the easiest way to do this now would be to right-click, and I'm going to copy image address rather than save the image to my computer or try and drag it over and have it get lost on the way there. So I'm going to hit Copy Image Address. And I'm going to go back to my slide and then go to Insert and Image, and then I'm going to do By URL. And then I'm going to paste that link in there, and then my tree comes up, and I'm just going to click Insert. So I want my tree to fit in here well. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit. And now that I have my thing looking like this, I'm going to go up here because I want this on all of my slides. So I'm going to go and I'm going to go to view, or I'm going to copy this first. So if you click over here and drag over and copy all this stuff, you can see how it selects the grass and the tree. So I'm going to hit Control C. Now I'm going to go to view and master. And I'm going to go to this top slide right here that says master and delete all this stuff. And then I'm going to just paste what I had before. So now you can see that that is in all of my slides here. So I want to go in and get those out of my slides. All right. So from here, I wanted to add some type of animal to my slide, but I also want to make it moving. So I'm going to insert another image by searching the web, and I'm just going to search for a squirrel. Oh. And I want one without a background again, so it would be easier if I go back here where I searched my tree and search in squirrel, and then I want a transparent background again. And as you can see, you get all these options through here. And I'm going to do the same step as before where I copy the image address and insert it in that way by URL and then paste. So I have my squirrel in here, but I want it to be moving once I upload this. So I'm going to copy and then paste once I'm in there. So once I get to here, I want to move my squirrel just a little bit so that when I actually play this, it'll look like he's moving around in the frame. So to get that, I'm going to click back over here on my slide and make sure that it's highlighted. And then I'm going to copy and then paste again. And then I'm going to move my squirrel over just a little bit. And then I'll continue this step until he's right about at the end so that we'll be able to see the change. And then I'm going to get rid of a few of these slides. This would be, the squirrel part is easier to do at the beginning so that you make sure you can add in the master slide after so that he'll be moving throughout. Now, in order to see this actually working, I'm going to publish this to the web. So to do that, you're going to go up here to File, and then Publish to the Web. And you want to click both of these boxes. Make sure those are checked off. So where it says Start Slideshow as soon as the player loads, and to restart the slideshow after the last slide, you want to make sure those are both checked. And then where it says every 3 seconds default, you're going to change that to every second. So under the Auto Advanced Slides, you're going to click that and make sure it's every second. And then you're going to hit Publish. And then you get this link right here. So I'm going to copy that link, open a new tab. And right here at the end where it says 1000, that's how many seconds it will take for each thing to go through. So I'm going to change that to 200 so it goes a little bit faster for me. And hit enter. And you can see your slide as an animation. And that is all I have for the animation for this part.
Perfect. Lauren, you want to wrap us up?
Sure. So thank you for joining us today. Hope you learned a lot and had fun. Have a great MLTI conference.
So thank you, Garros. So that's a good test run. As I mentioned before, presenting online, especially like in this scenario, it's really difficult if you don't do it every day, which we do now, of course, in our teaching role, but a lot of our kids don't. And so the more chance we get for this, the better it is. And so this was a great example why you might want to use that animation in your classroom or that setup. It does two things. One, of course, it teaches slides. Usually the kids that do that process, do that lesson, by the time they're done, they know slides really, really well. The full lesson is actually a lot more involved. We just did a shortened version because of the time. And the other thing, too, is you can kind of teach different topics about it, whatever content you're talking about. We've done in the past about, science examples or language arts or math or whatever, different scenarios. I'll leave with one example that we've had from years past. This was a slideshow that did a couple years now. I believe in 8th grade I did this at the time. But we'll leave with this one, and then we'll call it good for the day. Let me do a loop here. Yep, right there, play. And so with that, it's not playing here. Try one more time. There we go. And we'll see everybody next week.